The Notorious Backlog. Everyone has one in some way, shape or form, whether it be an endless list of games that you want to play but just don't have the time, games you already own but don't play because you're too addicted to Fortnite or something, or in my case, games you finished in the past but didn't have the patience, skill or dedication to earn the platinum. An endless sea of incomplete stains on what would be a beautiful profile. But no more! For the most part. For the past 4 years I've been mainly playing games that were on platinum so I could improve my list's appeal. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of it. I want new experiences, unknown territory, excitement. On the plus side, it's allowed me to release a number of videos showcasing my time with these games, and of course it's been a fun and entertaining journey. But enough is enough. I could have carried down this path for longer, but I just want to move on with my life. In this video I'll be popping the platinum on the last 8 games from my on platinum list, plus a bonus game. So the last few months I've been prepping these games that I only had a few trophies left to earn, to be able to fit them all into one single video.
We're an embarrassment.
Shut up. Before we begin, let's have a moment of silence for the games I couldn't platinum because they're unobtainable. To the games I didn't have the intelligence or skill to platinum, fuck you. By all means, Assassin's Creed Syndicate isn't the worst of the franchise that I've platinumed. Looking at you, Unity. But it was annoying having to play through the whole story again, even though it was easy enough. The most time-consuming trophy by far was the Without a Grudge trophy for destroying 5,000 items with your carriage, which took almost the full length of the game to get it. For the remainder of the trophies I needed, I just replayed certain chapters to grind them out, including the one I left for last. I needed to Spartan kick 50 enemies off trains. Now, because throughout the game there aren't many chances to do this, I just replayed Sequence 2 over and over again until I finally popped the no ticket trophy and the platinum. Deadpool. What a game. Visuals weren't great because it's a PS3 port and the controls can feel pretty janky, but Deadpool is Deadpool. A very fun game with hilarious Deadpool humor, sass, and gore to go with it. I completed the game on the hardest difficulty on my first time round, so I mostly only needed to get the miscellaneous trophies. The only trophy I'll say was more annoying than the rest was the Fish Out Water trophy for getting through Toxic River without touching the water. The chapter itself is pretty long, so if you do touch the water, you have to start it from the beginning. These cutscenes are unskippable, by the way. Taking that away, it was a very enjoyable experience. The last trophy I needed was to bank a 300 hit combo. Now you can do this throughout the game at any point, but the easiest place to do this for me was in the Road to Victory chapter. If you head to this location, there's a chance the enemies will glitch and not move. Might take a couple of attempts for this to happen, but it works. After achieving a 300 combo, Be Like Joe was mine, and so was the platinum. Dragon Age Inquisition is a game I didn't platinum back when I first played it because of the nightmare difficulty, and I totally get why. It's very unforgiving if you don't strategize. I had to do most of the side quests to make sure I was leveled up enough to tackle quests, as well as grind materials to make sure I had the best gear for progression. Basically play the full game all over again, but in a much smarter way than what I did before. No speedruns or shortcuts to get this bad boy. Once the playthrough was complete, I lowered the difficulty down to the easiest one and popped the remainder of the trophies. Found it a really enjoyable experience now that I'm a bit more dedicated and patient, and it made me fall in love with the series again. The only trophy I had left to pop was to enter the heart of the Solosian Temple. There's a big chance I may have butchered that. To do this, I had to collect all the shards scattered throughout the world. Not gonna lie, I had a bit of a scare when loading the game up, as it got stuck on the loading screen a few times. However, after trying a different autosave, the game loaded. Controller damage saved. Now, collecting the shards was a time-consuming task to say the least, but one I staggered throughout my playthrough. Once I had all necessary shards, I cleared the enemies behind each door and unlocked the final door. As soon as my little toe stepped into the room, I popped the Keymaster trophy along with the platinum. Arguably the best Uncharted from the PS3 era. I loved this game when I first played it, and loved it again this time round. I already completed the game on Crushing, so all I had left were the combat related trophies. I did have to finish the story again to have access to Chapter Select, but I wasn't too bothered about that. It's always a pleasure to play this masterpiece. I left the 3 speedrun trophies for last, which to be fair weren't too bad after a bit of practice. I beat Chapter 3 in less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds for the Staying Dry trophy, beat Chapter 5 in less than 7 minutes 30 seconds for the Quick Jaunt Through a Warzone trophy, and finally beat Chapter 13 in less than 7 minutes for the Bullet Train from Hell trophy alongside the platinum. What a game this is. To get the remaining trophies I had left, I had to play through the whole game again, tackling the miscellaneous trophies I left behind. But I truly love this game so much, I couldn't help but get the 100% again. Technically I played through it twice for the challenges, but it was still incredibly enjoyable. I left a combat trophy and a chill one for last as a goodbye to the game. Once I beat 15 combat encounters after completing the campaign, which are pretty much just random encounters scattered throughout the areas, I popped the Siberian Ranger trophy, and then finally sat on the best seat in the house to enjoy the view and popped the Quiet Time trophy. The platinum followed shortly after, making it a perfect farewell to this amazing gem. In my opinion, this is a pretty good game, although it can become pretty repetitive. The main downfall is that a ton of trophies are glitched, which means a lot of the cumulative ones need to be done in one sitting. No exiting the game or turning off the console, which pretty much means I can never come out of the game. As a new dad with a newborn baby, it was kind of fortunate since, more times than not, I had to leave the PS5 in sleep mode anyway. However, few of them require you to play through pretty much the whole story because of the different endings. Keep in mind there's also no fast travel, which makes the playthrough much longer. In addition to this, some of the loading screens are an absolute joke. Take away all those negatives, it really is a game that I enjoyed playing again, especially the collectibles. Now, I played a good chunk of the story, pretty much till the end, and then out of nowhere, the game crashed, which meant all the counters were reset to 0, and I would have to start a brand new run. Hell fucking no. Darksiders is a series that I've enjoyed since its release, so it was nice to come back to this gem. On my first time round, I wasn't skilled enough to complete the game on Definitive, but that was my main goal here, as well as the other miscellaneous trophies I left behind. Definitive is quite tricky, but with the right gear and upgrades, it wasn't incredibly hard. And my main gripe with the game is that everything is RNG, including health potions. This meant if the gods aren't on your side, it can get a little ugly. I used a guide for the collectibles because they don't show up on the map, and honestly, completing the game to 100% did feel pretty tedious towards the end, but regardless, I prevailed. To add to the pain, I had to play the story again in New Game Plus to reach level 30 and unlock the Crucible, on easy mode for obvious reasons. The Crucible is attached to the last couple of trophies I had left, which is a wave-based mode similar to DMC's Bloody Palace. After a very dramatic entrance,
welcome then to the Crucible!
It was time to get on with it. I have to say, with the health steal and wrath on crit abilities on my weapons, it was a walk in the park. Just very long-winded. It wasn't until wave 60 that I started to notice a bit of a difficulty spike, but with a bit more concentration rather than swinging wildly, it still wasn't too bad. Wave 100, however, was an absolute slap in the face. I managed to just about grab the win and earn the Is There Anyone Else trophy. Still on the Crucible, it was time to pop the final trophy. I made my way up to the newly opened platform to fight Wicked K, an absolute hilarious clown of a boss that no matter how much you slap him about, his health bar just doesn't move. After some time, he'll get bored and make a fashionable exit to leave me with a Bravo Old Chap trophy and the platinum with it. Finally, this long and arduous journey was over. Dragon Ball is one of my favourite anime of all time, and I've earned the platinum in a fair few titles so far. The Dragon Ball Z Kakarot was bound to be a game that I was going to platinum. I had a little Let's Play series when I first started this channel, and I fell in love with this game then. Honestly, I'm quite shocked I waited this long before I did platinum this game. But here we are. Another reason I wanted this backlog journey to be over. It's a great Dragon Ball experience, and if you haven't watched the anime, you can pretty much watch it by playing this game. I am a bit disappointed that they left out a few cutscenes and transformations like the Final Flash and Steroid Trunks, but the cutscenes they did add on are done to perfection. I find myself just sitting there watching them over and over again. The game does offer a numerous amount of side missions, and although some of them are fun, the majority are either fetch quests or just fights against the minions. The random encounters can get pretty annoying as well, since the enemies scale with your character. The XP they give when defeated is pretty pitiful as well, so there's not really much point or motivation to even fight them. They're just more of an inconvenience. The trophy list itself is pretty simple, just a bit grindy, which considering this game is an RPG of sorts, it's not that surprising. The only other thing I have a bit of disappointment with is that the game doesn't let you change outfits. I felt like for something so little, it would have been a great addition to the experience. Anyway, for the last trophy, I had to defeat the secret boss of the game. To be able to fight him, I needed to defeat all villainous parties scattered around the different areas. Stronger versions of the minions and bosses from the main story. By this point though, I was more overpowered than Saitama from One Punch Man, so Vegeta's Big Bang attack in Super Saiyan 2 mode was pretty much a cheat code. After a series of very brief battles, I was finally face to face with Mira, and after a fight that I could barely see any of the characters whatsoever with the amount of energy blast being thrown around, I popped the Down with the Demon Rail trophy and the platinum with it. What a game this is. And here is the bonus platinum, Astro's Playroom. Everyone loves this game, and everyone loves this cute little mascot, including my non-gamer wife. An amazing free game that came out with the PS5's release to showcase the sexy new controller. A great little platformer that's enjoyable from start to finish. It is more of a collectathon with platforming elements, but the amount of nostalgia and Easter eggs included, it just makes it a great experience. A super easy game with a super enjoyable platinum. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. The only trophy I had left here was to slap the Sony logo in the PlayStation Labo to reveal the former Sony logo, where I popped the supercomputer trophy along with the platinum. I also realised I can't count. With that, I've platinumed 36 games and not platinumed 17 games for various reasons, so not a bad haul in the grand scheme of things. Only one game remains left to platinum from this unfinished backlog, Final Fantasy X. But honestly, this game has a special place in my heart, and because this is one of my favourite games of all time, it deserves a video of its own. Once Final Fantasy X has its rightful place on my profile, I will have completed my backlog clearing journey that's lasted over 4 years, and I can finally start playing games I've never played before and work on my backlog of unplayed games, which realistically, I'll probably never finish.